Yes, 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 yes. Indeed, indeed, indeed. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're once again happy to be of service, to be able to help assist you with these connections. And it is not a coincidence that when you see names of people and you think into what are they doing now? What would their message be for humanity? They will jump at the chance to connect in with you. They are merely just a memory away. This is why we keep saying we're all connected, because it doesn't matter if there is a physical soul, a physical body attached to that soul, or whether there is a soul that is bodiless. From our perspective, it is easy to be a being without having a physical body. So it is, it's about perspectives. And we say, when you merely think of someone, you do connect in with them. Now, is that other person responsive and connected and can feel the energy and the thoughts and the communication? Telepathy is something we do appreciate and enjoy amongst ourselves, a high dimension. But with the free will and the clauses and the contracts and the universal law, we shall say, of your planet that you're on now, telepathy is not something that you have evolved into there. You've almost out-evolved it. You're much more connected in with the earth and each other at a much more profound rate. It seems like the more you start creating vocabulary and the more labels and descriptions and examples and more things you distract yourselves from versus the core essence of your soul, connecting into other souls and having that beautiful harmonious and balanced journey together, you are quite closed off. And when we say you, we say a portion of humanity is. So do not get offended or triggered or feel like we are pointing our fingers at you. However, if you could read our minds, we would be very appreciative. And if you could apply the information, we would be greatly obliged to be able to support you in all of the information you are seeking from us and more. So there's that. And we say that with love. The soul who wanted to come in today is what you call, what he was called when he was living as that man on your planet, Bruce Lee. Now, the vehicle does not know much about Bruce Lee, nor does she know much about any of the people she channels, because she's too focused on what's coming and who's here now on this planet and how can she be of service. And so people in her history are interesting beings. It's not until they present themselves to her and want to share their wisdom and perspectives to be able to help remind humanity how to evolve, how to expand your consciousness, your physical energy fields, to be more open and honest to yourself, to be able to be more open and honest to others, so then you can truly read and sense what's going on with each other and why is quite significant. And so we will call him in. The vehicle wants to get comfortable. Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing me in today and allowing me to have a voice once again, because I know many who know me, and I'm not judging the vehicle for not knowing me in my journey. The core principles of what I taught myself and also what I shared with others is still significant. And as collectives, we've been listening to the information that has been shared in these sessions, and we know that some names have been shared in terms of reading their books and understanding and been reminded of their wisdoms and philosophies. And I want to say, and add upon that, because I can see that there is another perspective that could be discussed, and maybe it's different words, but it's still the same, to remind you all about discipline of the mind, and discipline of the body is a beautiful balance and harmony for one's soul, because the soul needs to have that balance. The soul would prefer and enjoy to have that, because then once you are in complete balance and harmony within your body, within your mind, within your soul, then you can move forward. However, if you do have a disbalance, you are paused to wait and notice where that disbalance was created, where it is, and how it can be healed and nurtured and strengthened. And so it's about discipline of the mind to notice what is going on for you. And I would like to say there is no one point on your 3D earth life where you have completely managed to be able to achieve all that you want. It is endless. It is a journey that is always a journey. And once you shift out of your bodies, that journey changes into a new form, a new directive, a new focus. It's a great step. It is a gigantic step. It is a leap beyond what your minds can even comprehend in the 3D. And there is a rush to get there in some regards, but it also needs to be respected, because you cannot move forward until you look at the past and see where the blocks and limitations are and strengthen yourself. But you must be able to have diligence, and you must be able to have strength and focus and dedication to it. And for those people who think that they know it all and comfortable with the information that they've got, I would like to say it is almost like going to the gym 100 times and then thinking you don't need to go anymore because you've got that strength, you've got those muscles that have got fine attunements and definition. But what happens after the time you stop growing, stop strengthening yourself? When you plateau, it is almost a block in itself. And so it is about expanding consciously forward and being able to see all bigger perspectives, to be able to love everything, and to be focused and diligent with that. And while the mind may be tempted to wander and to be distracted, when you have truly done all of your old inner work and empowered yourself to move forward, keep going. We see many blocks and limitations, and we say, if this was your physical body, you are holding on to big weights that do not extend the arm out. For example, we want you to have full flexibility, but when you're ignoring some of your traumas, some of your limited perspectives, when you don't have full discipline for whatever reason, you cannot extend and flex that arm into its full, complete range. And so, full, true self-empowerment to look at every aspect of your life and to be honest with yourself. Is there something that you're avoiding? And again, I want to use another analogy of if you are at the gym and you're wanting to work on certain muscles that are already strong, it's always quite tempting to work on those stronger muscles more because it's easier, because you have that strength and you've got this recognition of the bigger weights, the bigger heavy workloads, and you're proud of yourself because you are naturally gravitating to the things that are easier for you. Whereas those, what I could say is weaker muscles, those more painful muscles, those more harder muscles could be missed out on because it's harder. And so see where your strengths are and see where you're overcompensating and over-focusing, over-mastering. And it's a peculiar one for us to say, but many people can focus on one aspect and have a disbalance, even though that one aspect is very advanced and specialized. We're saying, look at all aspects, look at all the muscles, if we were continuing on with that analogy of the body. And so strengthening all of the muscles, do not ignore any, especially those that are painful. And so, of course, when you do go to the gym and you strengthen and stretch and exercise certain muscles, there is a healing period for that. You do need to rest to be able to let the muscles grow and expand and heal. It would be foolish to keep working on painful muscles and never letting them have a rest to recover. And so there is so much to be said in the analogy of the physical body and working on the physical body versus working on the emotional body. We mustn't neglect aspects of ourselves that are too painful to look at and work on, but know the difference between, are you resting and healing, or are you ignoring? We understand that some emotional ranges are too painful to focus on, too challenging. But as long as you start being aware of, this is where part of your less than strengthened muscles lay, that is a step forward in recognition. But it is not a time for you to poke and prod that pain and not do anything with it. It is about nurturing it, recalling what caused that pain, and see if you're compensating in other areas to distract yourself from that pain site, that experience. Think about the hardest relationship you've had with someone. Look at it deeply. Look at the lessons it's teaching you. And look at the experiences that are still left to be able to unpack to discover the lessons provided for. I'd like to add the diligence and the focus and the dedication of oneself must be the biggest priority of all. And it seems and appears that humanity has got so distracted with other things that they're putting their priority of self at the bottom of the list. For some cases, not for all. And so we are wanting to stop your distractions of your routines that no longer serve you. And we want you to look at every single routine that you do. Is this a habit that needs to be addressed? Or are you doing certain things to impress others or to support others or do for others that actually they're not requiring from you, but you still feel like you need to continue on with that routine? Look at all actions. Look at all behaviors. Look at all reactions. They are all very significant. And it is about focus. Seriously focus. Because when you distract yourself from your thoughts, your feelings, you are making and creating a block for self. So we are wanting you to strengthen all aspects of self, of course, including the body. Because part of loving self is loving the body. And we understand you're not the body, but you must give gratitude and honor the body you have. It is a gift to be able to have the physical body. And it's never too late to honor. We almost want to say worship the body, because this is housing you. And we know that the body is a direct reflection of your mindset, of your perspectives on the world. And so we know that many have reminders of neglect, disenchantment in self. We see that amazing souls, you're all amazing, but we see amazing souls come and be born and take out their own frustrations and confusions and heartbreak and disconnection to source and their soul families. And they start self-destructing, self-sabotaging their bodies as a way to get out of the bodies. They may not know consciously why they are trying to sabotage the bodies, but effectively from our perspective, it is trying to detach themselves from their physical worlds that they are finding themselves in. It's interesting what people do to their bodies to mark them, cut them, hurt them. And when you can't express honestly to yourself your range of emotions, then another form of expression could take place. This is why we see many people overdoing exercise. They are wanting to inflict pain on their bodies. It's a way of controlling their emotional pain, so they reflect it upon a physical pain that they create. And so it balances out in interesting ways. We observe so much that humans do to themselves as they're trying to understand their feelings, their thoughts, and why they feel so desperately alone and disconnected from something they know should be there for them. And this is the challenge of the density of the 3D planets, is that it is such a drop in their natural, we want to say, soul equilibrium. It makes the density of the planet and everyone interacting makes such a depression imprint onto the soul in some regards that it then manifests into a emotional, mental, physical state of depression. It's a reflection again, as we said, the soul is sharing with the world in full truth what it's feeling and doing, and that is messages that it is showing in the body. While people's words can lie, the body does not. And we understand that when you're trying to read a physical body to see what that soul's been doing and how it's been responding to the ways of the world, you could see past hurts, past pains, past struggles and challenges, which is still reflected upon the physical body, but it is merely a memory scar, shall you say, of what they've overcome. So it's interesting to see, is this an active pain or is this a past pain? To remind them that they have become empowered along their journey. And they knew that if they could overcome this perspective, this limitation, this pain, that they are unbreakable, empowered beyond themselves, because they honor themselves and they are connected not only to themselves, their integrity, their truth, but also to us. It is a marvelous relationship that we can have with you when you are in full balance and alignment, which is a direct reflection of you. to us. Of course, you cannot use your 3D judgmental eyes to figure out who's done their inner work and who hasn't, because that is judgment, that you would not be able to see the full layers, whether it is old scar tissues or it's a fresh wound of a physicality symptom or situation. There is so much that could be said and explored, and it is challenging for us to be able to talk to each and every single one of you in these sessions, because we are talking and reaching out to all of you, but there are more urgent messages that need to be shared. And so while some of the messages resonate with you as a direct statement to you, you may feel like some others do not apply, and that is when we are talking to someone else. And you know this, and we've explained this to you before. But for many of you who are listening, who need more support and empowerment because they are struggling to find their own strength, and they are focusing on the easier ways that they've already strengthened themselves. And we are saying, keep going, expand upon, and notice all the other areas. We are wanting to say a gym joke that the vehicle is holding back. But we are saying, in terms of your inner work and how we were using the analogy of going to the gym, we say, do not miss the leg day. And the vehicle does not really understand the meaning of the joke in terms of what it really is meaning and saying. But what we are trying to get at is that you have to strengthen everything and not just have some favorite exercises and just keep working upon that. We would like you all to be able to engage the core of your muscles and the core of your the strength. And we would sort of say to really truly empower the body, you need to go with the core, and the core would be the beginning of the skeletal system. And while you do not know where the impact of your heavy bones of your skeletal system are, when you are constantly over exercising certain muscles, there can be a disbalance, which will then be causing more unbalanced skeletal systems and muscular. And you could actually be, if you don't, what we're trying to say to you is, when you're trying to build muscles in your body, if you haven't got a true alignment in the bones, there is a foundational structure that is out of line. And we say that's the same with your inner work and your spirituality. If you don't have the correct structures for the foundations, you could be piling on a lot of extra work onto what we could say is dodgy foundations. We are now using the analogy of a wall. If you don't have great foundational structures, regardless of whatever the wall you're building up upon that, it's always going to be problematic because your foundational structures are not strong. And that is with building the truth. If you don't have the truth and the right perspectives for your collective or for your own personal journey, you could be piling upon information and wisdom that's unaligned with your own true core. And this will trigger the soul because it knows the truth, but it's struggling and challenged with its conscious mind and the 3D perspective that it's trying to conform and comply to. And so what we are saying to you is, if you are wanting to start physically working on the body, core strength in the muscles would be an advantage point. So we say something like a yoga or a Pilates experience to be able to truly strengthen the core, would center yourself, would ground you, would be able to work into that focus and diligence to control the mind, to be able to notice what's going on for you. And it's about stopping and thinking. And we know many people can still stop and think while running, while doing the dishes. So it's about, what do you need to do for your body to be able to tune into you? And that's truly what meditation is from our perspective, is tuning into you. And you can do that while you're driving, while you're mowing the lawns, because you feel comfortable that your body is actively busy. So then you can relax the mind to go within. Many people have this assumption that to meditate, you must be in complete silence or some music to a certain degree of frequency to be able to get you more relaxed. And it's a choice to choose to relax if you want to or not. But using tools of music, while it is incredibly beneficial from our perspective, because it is got an upliftment when you're listening to the right frequencies, we want you to practice you relaxing your mind and your bodies in balance and harmony any second that you choose, without needing to have certain tools to be able to do that. It's about you being responsible for you being responsible for the body and for the mind. We also say that when we were talking about strengthening muscles that come very easy to you and it's your favorite, we would like to point out that some people do this with other people. Instead of your weaknesses and going in and doing your own inner work, you feel very strong and secure and very strengthened and very empowered to go and help others, because you're distracting yourself from your own pain and you feel very confident and strong being able to support others. And can you see how that foundational structure is out of alignment when your own foundations are not purely strengthened with full balance and harmony within your own self? How could you truly be able to help people build a wall of empowerment when your own personal foundations are not in true alignment? We have mentioned many analogies because we are also very visual. And so if we just talked about your emotions and what to do and how to do it, it would be very dull. And so we add in the visual information, understanding, illustrations to be able to give you understanding, comprehension, examples of what we are trying to encourage you to apply and have perspectives over. And so the vehicle is saying this doesn't seem like it's all just from Bruce Lee. And she is correct. Usually she feels into one soul, and he was here and he is here. And he did acknowledge at the beginning his single soul essence, but he is so connected to his collective. And they did all come in to be able to acknowledge with much gratitude and appreciation those who have got the true discipline to empower themselves. And we understand that it takes quite a journey to realize that self-empowerment is truly the way to enlightenment. But it is more than just a mindset. It's a whole complete package. And so we wanted to come in and honor all who have always listened to our messages and to our perspectives to be able to help you on your path and journey to strengthening yourselves, and to be able to then be able to strengthen others, because you have done the journey as such, and your foundational structures are strong, emotionally, physically, mentally. And of course, there is always room for more practice and more growth. It's, as we said from the beginning, it is never ending. It is a continual journey. And while you may pause and rest and recover, you can't stay there too long in that stagnant energy or growth, you must continue to grow. Even advanced concepts and perspectives. There is always room for growth. And so it is not advisable to have assumptions of what you know is the most information you can gain, because there is just so much out there to grow from, to learn from, to see, to ponder, to consider, to give yourselves the exercises to return to being unconditional loving beings. And we see that many people know that you must live in an unconditional capacity, and yet you hide from people so you don't have to practice that. And we appreciate that. It is a journey, and every day you've been given amazing opportunities to keep applying with due diligence the information that you know will help you grow and to strengthen those muscles of being an unconditionally loving being. And when you find yourself being less than unconditionally loving and compassionate and kind to others, this is a fantastic opportunity to strengthen your commitment and passion to be diligent to support humanity in all its journey, as you also have walked that path. It is significant why you are here, and it is purposeful. All of the reminders and the lessons. And we also want to say, for some of you who pick up other people's agendas, integrity, emotions, well, you do know unconditional love is the key, and you do know, and you have pure hearts. When you do connect in with others, sometimes you notice all of the range of emotions that they are feeling, but because you are noticing them, you assume that you are in fear, if you could be honest with yourself, judgmental, afraid, confused, and you will think, what has come over me? Why am I reacting like this? This is not my inner peace. This is not what I've worked hard for. And we want to say, catch yourself when you're absorbing other people's emotions and then reflecting it on as if this is yours. And this is where so many have got stuck, because they can't understand. I know about unconditional love. I know I should love myself. I know I should love all. But yet when I start communicating with people who are what you would consider maybe stuck in fear or sleepy or going with the narrative and complying, when you have a conversation with them and suddenly you feel triggered emotionally and you think, I'm judging this person, I'm reacting to this person. Are you? Or are you absorbing their own energy and reflecting it back to them to remind you where they are at, to be able to help you be of service, to be able to remind them how to empower themselves through fear, to be able to return to a trust and faith perspective and the range of emotions of empowerment? And when you can be truly honest with yourself and what you're doing and how you're feeling, to know whether it is your emotions or someone else's, this is truly when you are mastering the mindset and the range of emotions to its masterful state. And this is a significant statement that we have said. So check, is these emotions that you're feeling when you're communicating with other people yours, or are you feeling into what they are feeling? When you notice other people's feelings, you do not need to react upon them as if they are your own. It is a clue and a sign for you to see their foundations of where they're at. And with love and compassion, you can help set their foundational structures of emotions to be more secure, more safe, more strengthened, And you do that with love. You do that with compassion. You do that with honoring their journey, honoring their emotions, and reminding them and encouraging them to be able to find the purposes and the significances of what they're going through and why. It is uniquely significant. All of your communications with each other, it is so significant, because when you have got a higher frequency and they are trying to get your help, if you can feel their density and then try to avoid that density, you are not able to help them because you're confused and reacting to their emotions, and you're confused yourself about what's going on with this interaction, with this exchange of energy. We love all of you, and we have deep compassion for your journeys, and we understand that some of you do not like us to show you where you are stuck and triggered and looping, but we understand that that is part of your journey. We want to assist you in all the ways we can. And when you choose to apply the perspectives and the wisdom and the love that we so compassionately share with you all, we trust that you will then grow and be proud of yourself for your choices of empowerment of self, to then be of service to others. And know thyself is a significant, big step forward for all. And we say this with so much love.